guys, welcome to the show.
Moves.
I'm Becky, of course.
Of course. And I'm Mariam. You don't know me.
But you will.
We've got a comedian.
And we've got an architect. Big Dick Mariam.
Oh, dude.
And the thing about Mariam is she really doesn't know how to tell a story.
It's true. I tell really bad stories with way too much detail, unnecessarily. And Becky crafts really entertaining stories for a living.
Well, I try, Mariam, and I think I'm just used to exaggerating the truth.
Some might say lying.
I like to tell, and if I'm telling a story, it's, I'm gonna expect.
It's gonna be good.
I'm gonna expect some sort of reaction, whether that's laughing or like, oh God,
Right.
oh fuck. And sometimes when you tell a story, when I have asked, like, okay, well, what exactly happened, I regret immediately once you start talking, because you start so far back in the story.
Well, I need you to know all of it. I need the context to be there so you can understand it fully.
It's just interesting that someone as smart as you, I mean, you're the smartest friend I have. You are.
Can tell such an awful story.
Can tell such an awful story. It's like, it baffles me sometimes. I'm like, God, she's so funny most of the time. And also so smart. And then when you tell a story, you're like, so, okay, if it has something to do with like a trip, you'll start with like 3 weeks before that when I was
booking my ticket.
When you were getting electrolysis or something. So I'm getting electrolysis, right? And I'm like gearing up for this trip. And it has nothing to do with that. And so finally one day I just cracked, and she started telling a story, and I was just like, wind it back, start at birth. Because it truly was like she was kicking it back so far that I was like, why don't you just start every story from the second you were motherfucking born? Because that's what it feels like. My hair is turning gray as you get to, God willing, some form of a punchline or resolution to this story.
That's even not always there. Sometimes I don't even know I'm just, I just need you to be in it with me.
I know. You want to drag me through hell. And I'll do it for you. But that's why we decided to call this Start at Birth.
This is going to be a rough road if you decide to stick around.
No, it's not. It's fine.
No, it's going to be fine.
Everything's good. I was worried when we got in here. It's early in the morning, and I was worried I wasn't going to be able to saw off a log in time. And we got it done.
We did. Just in time.
Baby boy assistant Ben brought some Noah's bagels. Popped in a Zyn, which we've confirmed I'm doing way too much of. I'm wildly addicted to these Zyns, and I can't quit.
She can't quit. I've never done one. And now I'm extra scared because you told me, are we allowed to say what happened to Sarah?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
This is an open forum. Yeah, my sister wanted to try one. She's like, I just got to see what you guys are doing. And she put one in the morning. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. First thing I do in the morning is pop one in.
Can you believe it?
Well, I've gotten,
As she's got 10 just
No, I don't put in 10. I know people that do, but just one at a time.
Okay, all right.
One at a time. And I know you don't like the placement that I do with the Zyn, but I put it right up top. Okay?
A little chipmunk action.
She put one in the morning around 8 a.m. just as the fire was crackling at the Oregon coast. Beautiful. And she was like, I'm starting to feel nauseous. I was like, throw it out. Take it out. She was like, no, I want to just see she was like, I just want to see, like, something great is going to happen or something.
Something great did happen.
Yeah. She finally took it out, went into the bathroom, and I could hear the toilet flushing. And then I started hearing like, ugh. So she was puking and shitting simultaneously.
So Zyn, do you want to sponsor us?
That's never happened to me. But I did try one from Switzerland once, and I felt like I was on acid.
Yeah.
I remember being like, have you ever gone into a bathroom in a place where it's the lights are motion censored?
Yeah.
And have you been taking a shit?
And they turn off.
And you have to sit there with your pants at your ankles and start stomping.
In the dark.
Yeah,
just waving your hands around. Yeah.
It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
You're like...
It's true. Have you ever... Actually, the other day at work, I was like... coming off of I had COVID. Let me start at birth. So weeks before that, no,
It's happening now.
I had COVID recently, and was on codeine because of the pain.
Yeah, you were sipping on that scissor.
Sipping on that scissor. Yeah, getting friendly with the lean. And then the next day, like when I was finally feeling better, I went to work, and like halfway through the day, I was like, oh, I definitely have to shit. And that shit, the codeine will like back you up.
Oh.
And I told my colleague, I was like, hey, I just have to go pee really quick. And I went to the bathroom, and I was sitting on the toilet with truly like a log halfway out. And I was like, what do you do in this situation? Like, I can't pinch it. Like, I was like, do I have to grab it? Like, I was literally considering what I could possibly do, because it's like
to grab it.
like time was just going and going, and I'm like, I've been in here for 20 minutes and it's just there, like it's not moving.
Half out sitting there.
My legs started going tingly, like I was like they were falling asleep.
Now, did you try leaning back, lifting the legs?
I was pulling the legs up. I was like massaging my gut to try and like move things around. And
did you try like
bouncing, gravity
bouncing?
Yeah. I didn't do that one, but next time I'm gonna give it a go.
What ended up happening?
It ended up coming out. But it
Jesus.
took a really long time, and then I had to like go back and like play it off to my colleague like I wasn't just missing for 25 minutes.
It took that long?
It took so long. Yeah, and then I was like, I was just stretching my asshole.
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely stretched your asshole.
Yeah, I did. So it's exciting stuff, but I was just like like in my head, I'm like, what excuse am I gonna have? Should I say I took a call? Like, as I'm like also plotting whether or not to break in half this log that's halfway lodged in my ass. But
I don't even do excuses anymore because I feel like they're too obvious. Unless I'm in a really unfortunate state or like really embarrassed or insecure that day. Every now and then I'll be like, I'll come out faking a phone call like, yeah, I know. It's crazy. All right, yeah, talk to you.
Talk to you?
You say weird things when you're faking it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's been a while. I feel like I've been in very comfortable shit and fart situations, and I feel very comfortable here today at the studio. You know, because we've got Renee and Chris and Ben, and it's just a safe space.
Really safe space.
And Renee cares about my bowels.
He sure does.
He does.
He lights up when you talk about it.
I've farted more with these men than I think I have maybe anywhere else. It's just nice, you know, because otherwise you're full of gas. Your whole day turns to shit.
Literally. Yeah.
Someone did ask me on my Instagram, how are the colon and bowel issues going? I didn't mean to start off with that, but
they care.
You know what?
Your fans care.
It's the morning dump, and here we are. One of the main reasons Mariam and I are doing this podcast together is because she's probably one of the only people in LA I can trust. Popcorn kernel.
Keep it in.
I've known you for longer than I've known anyone.
Oh my God. Get rid of it. Do some gargling. Jesus. This is why I don't eat popcorn.
I'll wash it down with a kernel. Oh God, I'm seeing little black dots.
What is happening?
I'm fine.
Is it the Zin?
No.
Yeah, we go way back. I've known you since you were 7, I think. 8, maybe.
Yeah. Aside from family, I've known you longer than anyone.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I think I've known you since you were 6, because I think I was 11 or 12 when
you were friends with my sister.
Yep.
So we'll say what, 4th grade?
For you or for me?
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember
Sarah and
you
I were
coming over
friends
to the
in
house.
5th grade. Yeah.
Your eyebrows were still very similar then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And your teeth were jacked up yellow little beaver buttery biscuits.
Okay, Mariam. I'm gonna let you have that one. Okay. That feel good for you?
I mean, no, because what I learned early on with Becky was I thought, here's someone that I can bully because she's younger and she's got these teeth. And and I tried, and this bitch just ripped into my eyebrows. And I was older and smarter and should have not been bullied by a 7 or 8 year old. Mm-hmm. And I got. And I learned quick not to fuck with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was little, my brother's friends like fucked with me once, I remember. Mm-hmm. And I think after that I was just like, we gotta go hard. Mm-hmm. We gotta go hard.
You did.
We gotta be a tough little bitch. And I just remember like talking shit and like making fun of, or, you know, whatever, roasting people was like all I could do. Meanwhile, I was also looked insane with like the level of gymnastics I was at, the Ninja Turtle abs. Yeah. Like not developed whatsoever.
Yeah,
you know, I was always covered in chalk. I had very, very dark butter yellow teeth and fangs that they were like, we don't know what's going to happen with braces for you, kiddo. Mm-hmm. And I remember my brother and his friends took me out one day to like, we had this rope swing in the forest. Uh-huh. And they just kind of hung me from it. And they let the neighbor's sheepdog jump up and bite me. And it bit a hole in my ass. It made me bleed.
Wait, really? I don't think you've ever told me this
Like, you want to talk about bullying?
Yeah. Yeah, never mind.
Just sitting on this swing, suspended, and they're like, and I was like, ah! Sheepdog. Like, the kids who owned the sheepdog came walking down, and they had jeans that were shredded all the way up from the dog, so you could, like, almost see their dicks, which would have been exciting for me as a young tot.
You're just licking your buttery
like the Grinch. Yeah. That's what Sarah used to always say. Like, it looked like bugs at any moment were about to crawl across my teeth.
Oh my God.
But yeah, they held me from that swing until that dog sunk a tooth in my ass cheek. And then my brother had to take me behind a bush because I was like, I'm certain my ass is gone. Like,
what
I'm
did he
certain
do behind
my
the
butt
bush?
cheek. He inspected.
Okay.
To see how bad it was.
All right.
Because I was like, Mike, I think something really happened. Like, it really hurts. And so I dropped trow, and he was like, your butt cheek's just bleeding a little bit. I was like, okay. And that's how I would continue on to spend the rest of my days. Bloody ass.
Oh my God. I've never heard that story. And I also have a sheepdog attack story. Oh. When I was little, I remember, like, vivid memory of me, like, having a lollipop. And I was like playing in the neighborhood, and then someone's dog got loose, and it was a big sheepdog, and came like the classic, like as a kid, I'm like scared and running away. It thinks I'm playing, and just tackled me, and I got a strawberry on my knee, and I like gagged on the strawberry. And then I gagged on the lollipop. Ruined.
Oh, well, that's
ruined a lot of things for me.
Like, it went down too far?
Yeah, I like fell and was just like, oh.
Is that why you have issues sucking dick these days?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. Cut it. I'm kidding.
Oh, Miriam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember getting bullied by Mike and his friends and being like, Sarah's friends aren't going to absolutely do anything to harm me.
Right.
Because I will verbally combat this bullshit.
You did. Yeah. It was one and done. I don't think I think like after that I was like, I'm not going to mess with Becky.
Yeah, you knew what was best. But you guys were always doing fun things. You were like doing synchronized swimming routines. You had a pool at your house growing up. And Sarah was like, I'm going to Mariam's to do a synchronized swimming routine. Yeah, we're gonna learn the choreography to Austin Powers. And I was always like, fuck!
I shouldn't have made fun of her eyebrows.
It's what I want to do. And then I'd be like, I guess I'm going to gymnastics for another 9 fucking hours.
Oh my God.
But I just remember being like, so you guys would have so much fun. And I do remember though, like early on, it seemed like you had a lot more rules in your family. Cause like all those girls were like, you know, they were like little sluts. Yeah. Little wannabe sluts. They were like, we're going to get our belly buttons pierced and we're going to like, you know.
Show our midriffs. Wasn't allowed to.
You weren't? To show, you weren't, so you weren't allowed to get your nails done, piercings?
No, I could do my nails.
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to get my ears pierced. Wasn't allowed to shave my legs.
Wasn't allowed to. Tough for you.
Wasn't allowed. Yeah, dude. When your bikini line goes down to your knee, you need to start shaving.
And it's black fur.
Oh yeah, very furry. And my eyebrows were
Iranian?
eyebrow. I'm 50% Iranian. Yeah.
What's the other 50?
White, Norwegian.
From Norwegia.
Norwegia.
It's from a movie. Oh. Not that stupid promise.
Oh my god.
So you weren't allowed to shave your legs till what age?
I ended up just doing it and then
Yeah.
got it done, and then it was fine. I think I was like 12.
Yeah.
12. I wasn't allowed to go on boats, which has caused a rift between your sister and I.
Yes.
No boats. My dad's really not into boats.
Dad's like, you're not going to be a little hoe on a boat, Mariam.
Wasn't allowed to go to sleepovers until a certain age, and then even then it was specific houses that
Was
were
mine on or
pre-approved.
off that list? Pre-approved, like a mortgage.
You guys were eventually. I slept over. Little did my dad know what we were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a strict little household.
You guys did a lot of little bits as kids.
That's the thing. We were constantly like making movies, making music videos.
I don't know if we need to call them movies.
We were making feature films, and we were
like someone would run into the forest and they'd be like, "Where's the knife?"
Yeah, exactly.
Really good movies.
We would like come up with these like synchronized swimming in the pool. We would also like strap a rope onto the back of a bike, and then someone would be on rollerblades like being towed by the person on the bike, going to 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm. McDonald's.
Lots of trips to 7-Eleven, McDonald's.
Sam-a-lam.
Lots of trips to Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
And then back. And that was the day. And you would just like laugh and laugh and laugh and be silly and the best.
Yeah. Those were good times.
Who needs boats and sleepovers when you got ropes and bikes and rollerblades, you know?
I do remember missing you on the boats. But then later on, like high school, I don't remember seeing you as much. And then, you know, we both went away to college. I didn't really know where you went.
No.
I just remember like going to college in San Diego, and then and where'd you go?
Portland State.
For architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And then at some point we reconvened in Portland.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm really interested in stand-up.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I had made a New Year's resolution where I was like,
that's what it was.
I need to do something that like scares me a little bit, and stand-up was terrifying. Mm-hmm. And you had already started doing it.
Do you remember what year that was?
No. 2000. 14 or 15 probably.
Okay,
yeah.
So I was still fairly fresh.
Yeah.
And I remember like wanting to really, really encourage you and being really excited because I thought you were really funny.
That's so sweet.
And I think you showed me some of your notes of like joke ideas, or we started texting.
Yeah. I think I told you I wanted to do it, and then you were like, send me whatever you've got. Like, send me your notes.
Yeah.
And I just found them the other day.
How do you still have them?
I think I must have like emailed that like through an old phone or whatever. I emailed them to myself, but I was like searching my phone. I was searching through my email for something, and it like there's an email thread that just is called jokes. And it's painful.
Mariam's jokes.
Yeah.
I gotta hear them.
All right.
I gotta hear them.
Okay.
Let me get the popcorn out for this.
It's long. I'll do a select few.
Do a select few, but don't. Yeah.
Some of them I don't even remember. Like, for example, one of the notes is just condescending people. That's all it says. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Hey, how about them? I think I had told you to at the time, like, any small giblet you think is funny, write it down.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty bad, though.
Yeah, real bad. Doesn't give you any way to come up with something. Okay. Let's see. Big accomplishment. Finished a stick of chapstick without losing it.
I remember that.
There you go.
I remember you saying
that. Naked lady parties where girls just get together and compare how fat they are compared to their friends. You know, like at naked lady parties when you throw your clothes in the middle and then everyone's like trying on their friends' clothes, and then it's like a clothing swap. Have you ever done one of those? No?
What the fuck?
Really?
What the fuck?
It's like everyone, like, clear out your closet, and we'll do like everyone comes to a house.
Mariam, I think you're a lesbian.
Okay, well, you wish.
Fuck off. living this hell
Sorry,
with me.
Erin.
No, I'm just kidding. Wait, no, don't even continue on yet.
Okay.
Hold up.
Okay.
You and who? And wait.
Okay. Get all the questions out.
Why don't you bring the clothes that you're going to swap?
You do.
And then wear an outfit. Don't roll
No.
up in something you want to swap and then go, okay, 1, 2, 3, everyone get naked. You're so fucking fat. You're so fucking fat. You're fat.
That's not what it
I
is.
love this blouse from 3 people. Then you just walk out with your pussy out.
Yes. Just flinging about. No, you show up in an outfit and you've got a pile of clothes, but everyone throws their shit in the middle. Mm-hmm. And then in order to like know if you want to take something, you got to try it on. So they call them naked lady parties because everyone's just trying on clothes.
What was the part where you all call each other fat?
That's the bit.
That's the
That's the fucking punchline, dude. It's like you literally stand, like you can tell everyone's like, oh, this is so cute, but like it's probably not gonna fit me, and like everyone's playing the whole game of like, will it fit? Am I too fat? Oh my god, so and so wears a size 8 or whatever.
I've never been to a party like that, but that sounds like pure hell.
Yeah, well, right. So hence the hilarious joke I was gonna write about it.
That's not bad. That's not bad, Mariam.
I mean, so apparently nobody knows what a fucking naked lady party is.
Well, just me.
So.
I don't know much.
Yeah. Here's another one. Rather be called a cunt than stupid, which is still true to this day.
That should be on your headstone.
Don't you think?
Yes.
One of the notes is, and you'll find this funny, butt crack is at least 6 inches deep, which
I remember this.
Within the last, I didn't realize I thought about that way back then.
So long ago.
But I have a deep butt crack, and like, it's true. It's so deep. And we were at dinner, I don't know, a few months ago, and we somehow got on the topic of deep butts.
Yeah, the depth of the butt crack.
And I was like, I swear I could like hide something in my butt crack.
And then didn't you try to hide? You hid like a spoon or something.
A razor. I took a razor.
Razor! Of all things.
I put a razor in my butt crack and I took a picture and I sent it to you guys, and guess what? You can't see the razor.
You can't see the razor. Well, remember that night we were all at the house? It was you, me, and Big Ange.
Oh, yeah.
And we were trying to crack eggs with our butt cheeks.
Yeah.
And we were recording it, like, squeezing the butt and trying to crack the egg. And we couldn't do it. And when Mariam put the egg in her butt cheeks, it just disappeared into her ass.
Yeah, it's, you know.
The screenshots from that. And then we would start laughing and the butt cheeks would unclench and the egg would fall out and just crack.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
There were a lot of wild times before Aaron and I moved in together.
That's true. That's true. That COVID was the wild, wild west. We were doing anything to stay sane.
Yeah.
Including trying to crack eggs in our butts. I think we had seen the challenge where you crack it in your arm, and then it just spiraled into like, could you do it with your butt?
Yeah, and I think I had been doing
squats.
Stacia's like workout program for a few weeks, and I was like, there's no way I can't do this. Mm-hmm. Ass is taut.
Yeah. Not that easy.
Not that I also remember I was at your house the day like shit was locking down, or a couple days after.
Yeah.
When things did lock down, I was on the... Is that when you got dumped?
Yeah, I remember you were over and you're like, oh my God, he's calling you cute. And then I came out and I was like, yeah, I just got dumped.
Which fellow was that?
The real estate agent.
Oh, what did he say?
You were at my house.
I don't fucking remember, Mariam. I was outside making a TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a whatever. I remember shutdown because I got dumped the day the world shut down.
Is that why you really didn't leave your house?
No. God, no. No, I didn't even really like him.
You stayed locked down. I started to worry about you there for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's safe to say in the past couple of years we both have had worried about each other.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
For different reasons.
Yeah, very different reasons.
I hermited and you were really exploring things. You know, you were out there.
What do you mean?
I mean, I stayed in my apartment and you were like in Portland exploring lesbianism,
drinking more than I ever have.
Yeah, like more than I could comprehend. And
many a morning Merlot.
Yeah. Wild.
I don't know what it is about a glass of red wine in the morning.
I mean, it's alcoholism is what it is.
I think I saw like a king do it on TV once.
And you're like, this is the king shit.
He like also died shortly after because he was so unhealthy
Oh my God.
But I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I see that for me. Get a goblet and just
like
live that life.
A glass made of solid gold.
Yeah.
And just sit at the head of the table. And someone pours it out of a really old canteen.
Mm-hmm. And that's what resonated with you, which is wild. We're doing, it's sober October.
Yeah, I know. It's October 20th.
We're not having morning Merlots.
No, we're not. We're having morning matchas and 1,400 zins.
Mm-hmm. To cope.
To cope.
And nighttime Xanax to offset all the caffeine and zins.
Not every night.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like once or twice a week.
Okay.
But because I really have been like...
Same ratio as the Taco Bell consumption.
Yeah, I have someone asked me on my Instagram how many times you have Taco Bell a week, and I think it's twice technically because I'll order so much that I pop it in the fridge, and a lot of people don't know that Taco Bell reheats beautifully.
It really does.
Thank you for saying that.
I didn't believe it to be true, and then one night you had leftover Taco Bell, and I was like, let me just try it, and it tastes exactly the same.
Fucking perfect.
Exactly the same as fresh.
Yeah. So, it'll be 2 days because I'll eat the rest of the stuff for breakfast the next day. Or sometimes throughout the whole week. Just like have a couple items of T-Bell in the fridge at all times. You could just buy Taco Bell stuff at the grocery store.
You're an apps girl. You like your apps.
There's
we
a
like
Taco Bell
variety.
500 feet from my house, and I Postmates it.
Yeah.
Oh, appetizers?
Yeah. You just like. Oh yeah. Sorry, not like phone apps, but like you just like having options.
Yeah.
More so than a meal.
Yeah, I don't want to eat one thing. I want like a sampler platter always.
Yeah.
Free for all, if you will. I think because I grew up like that, like in a big family, and it was always like, if we did eat out, it was always like
the sampler platter.
We're at TGI Fridays getting a 3 for all, which was like buffalo wings, breadsticks, and potato skins.
Which is literally your diet now.
Yeah.
Favorite foods?
They're up there.
Pre-show.
Love a mozzarella stick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like everything they serve at a comedy club.
Have you ever choked on a mozzarella stick?
Of course I have. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the gnarly, like to the point where you've like
cheese,
pulled the
You're
string
like,
out.
bleh.
Yeah.
And then the fried part is like all chewed up and it comes back up.
Mm-hmm.
No good.
Just this nice little ball
You're
at
like,
the
well,
end
now I
of
don't
it.
want to eat anymore, and I especially don't want to dip it in the marinara because my throat's filled with acid now.
Yeah.
But sober October is going really well. A couple things. I didn't want to start doing a podcast until I felt like I was mentally stable. And then I told you, you know what? It's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to happen for me.
Yeah.
We're always going to be a little off kilter. There's always going to be several voices popping around in my head.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to start. But then also the last time we recorded, I remember getting really nervous and doing something that I've done for years, which is like, oh God, I need a drink to calm down.
Yeah.
And I had like brought a bottle of wine to the studio and I had some and then like watched the podcast and I was like, and that's the way I felt with work stuff. It's like in the world of comedy, it's like you're around drinks all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's late night.
It's like, and doing like voiceover. It's like everywhere you go, there's like a drink cart. It's like, what do you want, a hot toddy filled with honey? Yeah, okay, for your raspy little fucking voice. I'm like, yeah, of course.
I can tell your throat's bothering you.
Like when you're in the closet screaming into a microphone, playing a 12-year-old boy, being like, yeah, I'm like, sure, I'll take a whiskey. I'm very unwell. Like maybe this will help me find the character a little more, or just to be more.
Yeah.
Just
well,
to
you
like
told
lose the ego and the fear, and like maybe the alcohol will make me be more something.
I think you've described it before as like it lets you worry less about how other people are perceiving it or perceiving you.
Yeah.
Which lets you be like freer.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird whatever external way of like blocking out the noise.
Yeah.
But it, fucks you up.
It does.
Yeah.
Because it's like it makes me, Guadalajara comes out, which is my alter ego, and she can be evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized I hadn't taken more than... I've tried not drinking for 30 days a few times in the past couple years, and I have been unsuccessful. And the time off and then like getting back into it has been like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. I fell down drunk, dislocated my pinky. You know, it's never going to be the same. I mean, it just... Hi. I guess we're a little classier now. Yeah. But, you know, no spring chicken anymore, and I'm injuring myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when my parents were deciding when to put my grandpa in a home, assisted living. They were like, you know, he's gotten in a couple accidents, and we just think it's time. Like,
and you're like, I can relate to that.
I was like, I feel kind of the same. Like, I've been in a couple accidents as well. And now it's been 20 days, and I just, like,
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mariam.
You're so welcome.
I don't want it. Yeah.
And we don't have any today, which is great.
We don't have any today, which is great. Yeah, I feel a lot better, and I think I probably was taking more like sleeping pills and things if I was drinking, because I was worried like, oh, am I gonna replace it with something else? I still eat. I'm gonna eat the same, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't.
But look at that sober jawline.
How's the jaw? Wait, how's the jaw?
Real chiseled.
Is
look
it?
at that. Yeah.
It's really. I have a bunch of razor burn because I shaved my chin this morning.
Gotta get electrolysis.
I shaved my chin so it would like really, you know, be.
You should have left it so that the shadow becomes like a contour.
Fuck, I should have done that. Now it's just red bumpies.
No, you can't see it. You're looking good. You're looking healthy.
Well, I went into this place called like Blush Beverly Hills because they have this machine that like gets rid of it does a bunch of things. Like you can get your fat sucked off or frozen off or burned off or whatever the hell. Injections to sizzle stuff off. And I had like a consultation with this woman, and she was like, you've got a lot going on in the chin area, the neck area. And I can just tell you, it's going to be about $20,000 before you see any improvement.
Jesus.
Like, all right, lady, if I take a week off of drinking Fireball, I think you maybe 10,000.
Yeah, or, you know, maybe like join Aaron at the YMCA every once in a while.
Fuck the YMCA. No, just kidding. I love working out. I've always been a runner, like, you know. It's just, I don't know.
It's the motivation. I was talking to a like nutritionist earlier this week, and I was like, I just am lazy. Like I know the right things to eat. I know how to cook. I can do it all. Like I know it. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. She told me it wasn't laziness. She's like, it's just overwhelming. You're probably trying to do like the idea of like, you know, you need to prep every meal. Just do one. Like make it smaller. Which is, I thought, was very helpful.
Yeah, you don't have to do everything.
Yeah.
I like some of the things that you've said over the years that are very calming. Like when we talk about weight, you're like, you know, my body just wants to be 150 pounds.
It does.
And that's my body's choice.
It's true. I swear to God, if I go under it, it wants to be up there. If I go above it, it's like, you feel like shit. Get back down, baby. Yeah. And our bodies know. We talked about this the other night too. Like intuition. If something feels wrong, it's probably wrong. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I had not experienced that in so long until 2 nights ago. I was overwhelmed with dread about a decision regarding a contract. And that was enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all these things and this decision and the people involved in this are making me feel crazy and making something that was so good feel really bad. I'm out.
She's out.
I'm not going to waste my time on anything other than good energy.
There we go.
Oh, I hate how positive I've become with not drinking.
I love it.
You do?
I do. Yeah, I really do.
The other thing that was nice was like, I have been eating a fuck ton of Cold Stone. But you know what? Period's just around the corner.
What was that place we went to in Indianapolis? Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero. If you're in Indianapolis,
go
to Sub-Zero. They make the ice cream right in front of your face.
It's actually kind of a disgusting process when you think about it. They're just dumping cream
when they pour the cream in. I'm like, we kept walking to this ice cream place because we're like, let's work out. And we would get like not even a quarter of the way home with our ice cream and both be speed walking because we had to shit so bad.
Yeah. And also, like, 10 times asking each other, should we just get an Uber?
Yeah. Well, that reminds me how helpful you've been. I do feel very lucky because, like, I don't have a lot of friends that are like, fuck off, you're not drinking. Everyone's been very supportive, which is awesome, but also a little bit frightening because it means that everyone knows how much it's affected me.
Yeah.
And, like, how much damage it has done.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my mom, all my friends, they're like, I'm just so proud of you. Like, they're just really respectful and they don't try to, like, egg me on or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel very, very lucky for that. And
yeah.
I feel like, oh, I have a great circle. I have a good army around me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's, I mean, so quick to reach for, like, yeah, just chug the wine.
Yeah.
And then you realize it's like, okay, one drink's not going to do it. So then what? Is it going to be 12?
Right.
And then I'm going to feel like shit? And then what? Maybe what happened within that time that I was buzzed or drunk, I just got a little more passionate?
Or a little more offensive or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, too, like, I had to do it. I was like, it'll make me a little more loose if I'm, like, trying new stuff that I'm not really confident enough to say it on stage. How pussy is that? Then I realized I'm much more psycho without it.
I was going to say, like, that was always shocking to me because you told me that a couple times. And I was like, you're the most fearless and, like, confident. Like, you give no shits about what anyone around, like, how they react to what you're doing. Like, I mean, it goes back to the king peasant mindset, but like, I don't know, it was like shocking to me to hear you say that, like, you felt like you were worried about whatever and like you needed it for confidence, where I'm like, you don't. Like, you don't need it. You're the most confident person. And
I feel like I lost that confidence for a while though.
Yeah. But I think, like, again, I think it was from drink, like, you just, whatever, you did a show last weekend and felt really good about it because you remembered it. You know, like, you could confidently say, like, I know I did a good show because you weren't wasted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I fully support it.
I feel like a lot of people are like, why did you stop drinking? Or like, what, you know, what, like, prompted this for people that, like, wouldn't necessarily be in, like, a friend circle.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, when it's around and everything you do for work or whatever, and it's available and it's like no one's gonna slap you on the wrist, there's no HR really in this business. It's like you could kind of always be having a beverage. Yeah. And then when you're drinking constantly, everything, then also involving everything you do for work, just goes down the shitter. There's no progress on any fronts. Yeah. And even if you think you are, like, oh, I improvised something really funny when I was fucked up, it's like, it's not gonna be the same. Like, it's probably not exactly what you think. It's most certainly not exactly what you think, and probably not as funny as you thought. It was probably awful. Yeah. And it's nothing you couldn't have done if you were sober, and probably could have done better, you know? I felt like things changed. The pandemic, I think, kicked off the, like, heavy drinking, and then how much everything changed during the pandemic with, like, Aaron and I starting to date and, like, both being each other's first woman, and entitled housewife taking on a life of her own, and then, like, going back into touring and being able to, like, sell a certain amount of tickets and, like, playing the character on stage. And, you know, it's a big, like, oh, we're having drinks, it's the heavy door. It was just like, I was scared. I felt really scared all the time, and I didn't ever really, like, stop and acknowledge it. Yeah. And then it got to the point where, like, I did a couple shows that I was like, oh my God, I don't remember. I don't remember a single thing I said on stage, and I was on stage for an hour and a half. Yeah. And then there was, like, one show I did, and I, like, fell off a table.
I don't even think you told me about that.
I did a show at the Irvine Improv, and I was doing my final number, and at the end of Mama Needs a Claw, I fell off the table and, like, rolled my ankle.
Oh my God.
I have it all.
Let's play a clip.
We should put a clip in there. I think this was probably the worst anxiety attack I've ever had. The next day, I woke up and I was like screaming.
Was this when was this recently? Like, within the last, like, 6 months?
Yeah.
you texted me the next day.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I almost couldn't drive home. I was like, yeah. I called my friend Sarah Goodman, and I was just like, I was crying so hard, and I was just like, I can't breathe. I was just like, oh my God, like, I don't want to be alive. Like, I don't want to be alive at all. I hate myself. I couldn't stop saying it. And then when I got home and I saw Aaron, I was like, you have to leave me. Like, you have to, like.
What? Are you going to cry?
Yes.
Oh, dude, Becky, we're so far apart.
Yeah, I was like, you can't. Like, there's no way you should want to be with me. I'm like, I'm so messed up. I'm such a terrible person. Like, I fell off a table last night during my show.
Which also was, like, not that bad. I mean,
it was bad because I didn't really remember much.
No, I know. I just
was
mean, like,
oh God, what did I do? What did Patty do?
Yeah.
You know, who did I offend? Like, I just think about, like, the one time Aaron dragged me to a comedy show, and it was so professional, and I was like, fuck, what do people think when they come to my shows?
Yeah.
Like, I have a different style of show, but, like,
yeah.
I just was like, I can't believe I would, like, even have one drink, let alone enough to roll off a table.
Yeah.
The Pumas did have a platform, so when I rolled my ankle, then I like left town and I went up to Washington, retreated to my friends, my childhood friends, and I was still, like, panicking, but I had the video of the show, and so I had my friend watch it, and she laughed the whole time at how, like, insane it was.
Yeah.
And we watched the end, and I'll play it on here, but, like, I fall off the table and you can hear it because I had a headset mic on, so you can hear the fall, and then I just go, she gone.
Oh.
She gone. And then someone goes, get her a Xanax and a claw.
Oh my God.
I love you so much, and I would not be here without you. She gone.
I've just, it just ruins me.
Yeah. I think you're better without it.
I do too. I think it's been so long that I forgot, and I no longer believe that I was better without it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was because so much change post-pandemic or, like, so many new things, but I just completely, like, lost control.
Yeah. I mean, like, we kind of touched on this earlier, but, like, when I'm scared and feeling overwhelmed and, like, stressed out, I hide. Like, I like hide into a cave. Hence pandemic, you didn't see a lot of me.
Yeah.
And I think your version of that is consumption. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whether it's, like, booze or food or fucking Zins or whatever it is, like, that's your version of processing, or, like, that's what you default to.
Yeah.
Hiding is less, like, physically detrimental, but it's
sounds relaxing as fuck.
I mean, I don't want to, say one's better than the other, but my version's probably better.
How do you hide if you have a weekend schedule with 5 shows?
Well, exactly. Exactly. You're right. I work from home and can easily just, like, coop up and avoid the world.
Yeah. I think I
yeah
maybe could have been better with, like, boundaries, or been, like, I don't know.
But your career was, like, taking off in a way that it hadn't before too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, not that you weren't successful prior to the characters that came out of. Yeah, you were. You were a comedian for a living. Like, that is successful. It just got to a different level. And yeah, I can't even imagine, like, how being your whatever, like, maybe you wanted to retreat, but, like, how could you say no to, like, what is happening and coming your way? Like, I not to put words in your mouth, but I can imagine, like, that feeling of, like, grappling with, like, all of the, like, feeling so grateful and feeling like you can't justify what is actually going on, which is, like, fear and dread or whatever, and
maybe even a whisper of imposter syndrome. And I always
just a touch.
I always said, like, I don't feel like I have imposter syndrome. Like, once I started headlining or after pandemic headlining, when I used to headline pre-pandemic, I was always like, God, I don't have an hour I'm happy with. And like, when I headlined post-pandemic, I was like, I always felt like, yep, I'm meant to be here. This is my thing. Like, I'm going to fucking rock this and have so much fun. But there was like an imposter syndrome about the rest of the stuff that came with it, I think, or like how many different things were happening. Yeah. And just like how maybe spread thin I became. Or trying to like juggle all the things and then being like, alcohol will help with like, you know, transitioning into this and then that and then that. And it's just like, it only made things so much worse. And instead of like spending the past couple years being like so positive, so grateful, I felt bipolar, and I kept feeling like I have to do this. I have to do that. I got to do this. Like, yeah. It's like, if you were to look at this, I think someone said like, if 5 years ago you like looked at this, they'd be so excited and like happy. Like, how are you not so happy about this? Yeah. And I think I just was like so anxious and so depressed because of the cycle of like drinking, hangover, and like never feeling good. Yeah. And then gaining weight and then being like, shit. Yeah. Not only am I drunk, I only fit into an oversized sweatsuit. I don't even have a taupe pant that fits.
That's not true.
I don't buy taupe pants.
Tote?
Taupe.
Taupe pants. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that cycle it's rough. And I get the imposter syndrome too, though. Like, it's, especially when what you do is individual. Like, we've talked about this before. Like, we're both creatives. You kind of need, like, you need someone to receive what you're putting out there in order to, like, whether it's laughter and then that's how you know what you're doing is good, or like in what I do, like, it's like I have to like gut check with people, like, what do you think about this? And like oftentimes like other people's perspectives will like be a light bulb, you know, whereas like if you just do something on your own and you have to rely on yourself, and then you start questioning like, is what I'm doing even good? It is crazy making, like, I don't know, there's like striking that balance of like, you need, in order to like get out of your own head, you do need outside perspective, but you can't base all of your decisions off of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird, and it's hard to do, especially when you're like self-disciplined, self-guided. Like, everything you do is like you, and that's it. I don't know, it's hard. I appreciate having you because you've been doing stuff on your own for so long, and like recently, like, I called you to like just like bitch about running a business and like not being able to have a productive day. Like, it doesn't happen to me often, and then there's just like, I like woke up and just didn't want to do it.
Oh yeah.
And I call you and you're like, welcome to my life. And it's just like so nice to like, obviously what we do is very different, but like, it's just so nice to like have that like, okay, this is normal. Like, it's fine to feel like this. I called another buddy of mine who owns a business as well, and he's like, I like tell myself, as long as I give myself 3 hours a day that I'm productive and like capitalize in the morning, because I'm most productive in the mornings. It's like, and then I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, I'm so programmed that like I have to work minimum 8 hours a day, otherwise I wasn't productive.
Oh God.
And it's like, yeah, just 3 hours. Let's do that. Like, that's good. Or whatever the version of that is. Like, allow yourself to like do what works for you when you're not like worried about churning through the like business world, or like whatever standard hours of operation are.
Yeah, the standard operations, standard hours have always been like a difficult thing, especially when you're running your own thing and everyone around you has their hours, because there's push and pull of like, you might work an hour in the morning, do whatever for a few hours, and then like you are also known for like staying up till 3 a.m. or whatever, working on something. So sometimes it strikes late. That happens for me too. Yeah. and there's like a push and pull with other people because like they have their off hours and they're like, I want to go to dinner, I want to do this, I want to go out like the weekend, like let's go, and it's just like nope.
Yeah.
It was I usually agree to like everything.
Yeah.
But you have to do as much as you want to, make sure you're still happy. Whether that's masturbation or like having things to look forward to, like masturbation. Maybe a trip that you would obviously take solo because you only travel alone.
Yeah.
Just anything, and like just always be mindful of like the big picture. And it's like, am I gonna wake up tomorrow feeling like I did good things yesterday and I worked toward my goal? Yes.
Yeah.
If the answer is no, maybe you need a break. I don't know. Or if it keeps happening, if you think things going down,
If you think going downhill.
but you'll get it done, even if you procrastinate. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it takes time to learn. And
Well, that was the thing too. It's like after I talked to you, like as soon as I hung up, I was like, all right, I just need to do this shit. And I got it done within like 30 minutes. Like the thing that I was dreading for hours.
it takes 2 seconds.
I got done instantly, and all I needed was like, okay, someone tells me this is fucking normal. And that was it.
Well, and how sad is it that equally I was like, I've been so needy from all my friends recently because of how much I've been like drinking and just like confused. And like, of course, when you're drinking that much, it's like all your relationships go downhill, work stuff goes, like just everything. You're just like, what's wrong with me? Like, I feel like death. Like, I just don't feel like it's worth it anymore. Anything, any of it.
We're getting real dark here, folks.
It's just
I know
how it
it's
felt
real.
though.
Yeah, I know.
And it was the first time that I like said something somewhat helpful to someone else in so long.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, man, that's tragic. Like, I just was able to give my friend a piece of advice and like be there for her when she needed something. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful for it.
Well, you should be, Mariam, because that's very good advice. Get off your fucking ass and do the work.
Yeah. Okay, Kim Kardashian, careful.
I came out wrong.
Um,
Get off your ass and make some spanks.
I think, like, I wish I knew, like, who said it, but there's the philosophy of, like, giving back is the only way that you, like, can feel fulfilled. It, like, doesn't matter how much shit that you do or have.
Yeah.
Which is why, so many rich people give to charity. I think it's, like, the only way they can stay sane and also evade taxes. But
I gotta start doing that.
Yeah, but it's true though. Like when you help others, it's also selfless, but selfishly you feel good. It's like a dopamine hit. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a little dopamine hit in the car yesterday.
You're so welcome.
How old were you when you knew what you wanted to do for work?
I still don't know. I'm like every day I grapple with what do I want to do. In the pandemic when
Maybe that's why you're not motivated.
No, I think I'm figuring it out. So I'm an architect. I love what I do,
Yeah,
but
you're very good at it.
thank you so much. But I find that feeling obligated to do something, to whether it's to make money or like really it is to make money. Like the fact that I have to like rely on doing the thing that I love doing to survive makes it much less enjoyable.
Yeah.
Whereas I think what I want to do is just a lot of shit. I really like learning and I like doing. Why do you think I'm doing a podcast? I'm not an entertainer, but I'm curious.
Say that
like
twice.
But I like doing new shit. I like learning new skills. I like meeting new people. Mm-hmm. And if I can like figure out a way to live my life where it never feels stagnant or, like I don't want to ever feel complacent. So now I feel like what I want to do is a little bit of everything. Yeah, I just kind of like wrote out what makes me happy and like what I like to do and what I want to be doing. And I don't know, I just like got to a place of like, I really like my job, but it feels like a job. So how can I create income in ways where I can take on design projects that are actually exciting or fulfilling or interesting or have like a learning prospect for me, and not have to rely on doing the thing that I enjoy doing to survive.
Yeah.
So I basically I think what I want to do is just diversify income streams and do a little. I like being a jack of all trades. I don't want to be doing one thing really well forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I don't to answer the question. I don't know what I want to do other than I want to do everything all the time.
Yeah.
Forever.
When you were a kid, did you?
What's weird is no, if you were to, my answer to that question is no. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I went to college. I didn't have it. I was a philosophy major and a psychology major. I was taking oceanography classes and belly dancing. And then I took one, and then I was like, I'm going to do urban planning and, work in third world countries and, make all these amazing changes for the world. And then I took an architecture class and was like, actually, this is what I like doing. But the reason I was drawn to architecture is because it takes philosophy and art and science and geography and literally it's every field in one. And it is a job that is, even though it's a singular profession, it is being a jack of all trades.
Yeah, totally.
So that's what drew me to it. Yeah, but sorry, funny enough, fucking bad stories, dude. I'm the worst.
Funny enough, when I was 6.
Funny enough, when I was 6. No, when I was whatever, my mom has during COVID, she's going through all of buckets of old drawings and stuff. There are multiple references of me saying I wanted to be an architect, which is weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But also when they asked me what I wanted to be when I was a kid, I wanted to be a tree. So I don't know how much you can really take that stuff at face value, but
that's so interesting though, because I feel like I didn't remember wanting to do stand-up when I was a kid until my parents found a video.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you remember me saying that to you when we were little?
No, I just, again, I feel like half my memories are based off of videos and photos, and I've seen that video of you saying that.
Yeah.
But again, it also knowing you now, it makes sense. Of course, that's what you do. You were always quick-witted and entertaining and fearless and
hilarious
and beautiful, just so fucking beautiful. My God. Once we got those teeth fixed, it really turned around.
Teeth would have really helped the comedy career, I feel like.
But actually, even in true, but in high school, because we overlapped for a year.
You were a senior when I was a freshman.
Yeah, and you were you were in the assemblies, wearing a giant afro wig and rollerblades or whatever. You were fearless. So yeah, it makes a ton of sense. I don't know what you studied in college, but wasn't worth it.
Yeah. I was in leadership in high school. I was the spirit officer.
Oh, see? I didn't even know that, but that makes sense.
That's why I was in all the assemblies.
Got it. Okay. I just thought you liked the attention.
And then the dance team was really good, and after I quit gymnastics, I was never very flexible.
The Tigerettes.
The Tigerettes.
Yeah.
Tigard High. Mariam and I went to Tigard High. They were okay, you can either be in the back of the room of 75 dancers, or if you join the cheerleading team, you can be front and center. I was like, cheerleading it is. And the Tigard High cheerleaders were not a cool thing to be a part.
It was the punk and the emo girls.
Yeah, I still wanted to do back handsprings and round off back handspring, back tucks and stuff. And I was like, fun, now I get to do them on the football field with fucking pom poms. Great.
Yeah.
And so I would at the assemblies be the spirit officer and be in a Tigard High cheerleading uniform, just
oh my God,
we've got school spirit. And then
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I went to one football game, I'm pretty sure.
That's insane.
I
loved those football games. That's where we would have all of our first kisses.
I remember the one football game I remember going to. I remember one of the girls that I was in theater with. I took one theater class. I wasn't a thespian, but took one class. And we were sitting next to each other watching the game. And she was like, do you want to see something really gross? And I was like, okay. She shows me a staph infection that she got from a tanning bed. And it was like this gigantic blister on her, like, whatever, on her torso.
Wait, were you watching the game from the stands?
Yeah.
Oh, Mariam.
Is that not what you're supposed to do? I don't remember.
That's so embarrassing.
We were standing somewhere or sitting somewhere.
The high school kids always stood.
Maybe we were standing.
Or they were in a mosh pit behind the stands.
I don't remember.
Trying cigarettes.
I certainly wasn't watching the football. I was being traumatized by a staph infection. Yeah.
Oh.
It was awful. I still remember her name. I'm not going to blast her like that.
What is it? Do I know her?
Yeah. You do.
Do I?
Yeah.
She your age?
She was 1 year older than me. Yeah.
I love those football games.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I remember.
I think I just always had a crush on a football player or was dating a football player.
Mm-hmm. Who was the one that you liked that you went swimming and then had an accident when you were climbing up the rock?
Oh, Casey?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There was nothing to do in Tigard. Like, if there weren't sports, I feel like that's why there's so many, like, bad, like, horror stories of people going down dark roads. But I remember we found this little footbridge on the way to the Oregon coast. We named it Dire Rock River. I don't know what it's really called. But, like, in between sports
foreshadowing
seasons, I had just gotten my driver's license. And we were like, let's go to Dire Rock River and just, like, jump off the bridge into water to, like, feel some, like, adrenaline. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, we went out there with, like, some of, like, the senior guys. And they were all wearing their, like, crispy white tennis shoes, you know? Mm-hmm. And there was this little corn dog stand on the way in. And you could always get, like, a 4 Loko and 2 corn dogs for $1. Perfectly crisp. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Gas station hot dog in the middle of nowhere. Like, they've been cooking all day.
Yeah.
You know? But they're somehow still juicy. But the shell, perfectly crisp.
Okay.
So I shoveled these 2 corn dogs down. By the time we walk out on the footbridge, I'm like, I've got to shit, and I've got to shit now. And there's no bathroom there. Uh-huh. You know? And so, like, everyone was like, okay, let's do like a 3, 2, 1, like 3, 2, 1 jump. And I just climbed over the bridge and was like, fuck it, and just sent it into the water, which is frozen, freezing cold. And I swam around a cliff and I scaled it. And I just dropped trout like 15 feet up this rock ledge. And I found like kind of a toilet in the rocks. And I just pulled down my pants and I shit in it. It was like a really Yogurtland shit. Mm-hmm. Like a coiled soft serve. But it went pretty high. You know, it was corn dogs and whatever else I had eaten that day. Probably Godfather's pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And then the guys jump off. Casey and Drew jump off shortly after me. And they're swimming around. And Drew, the other guy, was like, oh, dude, look, like there's a rock we can jump off over here. And so I'm just like swimming in the water, like trying to wash my ass in the water. Like, and they swim around. Drew starts scaling the rock wall.
That looks dangerous over there, guys. Maybe you shouldn't try that rock.
Yeah, Drew's scaling the rock wall, like just as fast as a grizzly bear. And he's just going directly beelining it toward my shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I wouldn't.
Like a moth to a flame.
I couldn't say it. I don't think I said anything. I think I was in shock.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like it had happened so fast. And so he scales the rock. He steps right in it, kerplunk, and his left foot slid out from under him. And he like ricocheted down the rock wall and all the shit came cascading down. Like it went across his whole being.
Oh my God.
As he made his way down, ricocheting into the water.
Yeah.
You know, it was like art. It was like a mural of shit on the rock wall. And he was like, oh, dude, there's fucking deer shit or something, man. And I was just in the water like, like, fuck, did I just get away with this? They didn't see me do it.
Until now. You got away with it until now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
I love it.
And then Casey and I ended up dating. He was like my first boyfriend, I think. Never told him about that.
No.
Never told him that his best buddy ate my shit.
Just, what is it?
That his best buddy finger painted with my Dia.
Okay, I was going to say, you called it Dia Rock. River. Prior to this incident?
No, we've just coined it as that since.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, I guess just be careful if you're going to a footbridge and you've had corn dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But what? I was saying that because of a specific reason. Oh, knowing what you wanted to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When did you...
Apparently when I was 6, I guess. I don't know. Well,
yeah, but
from
even...
that video. But I think early on, my parents were like... Someone actually, I think, pranked me when I was young. And they sent a thing for, like, America's Next... Not America's Next Top Model. Like...
Funniest home videos.
No.
Oh.
It was like a kid pageant. And I was like, Mom! Like, I've been selected to be in a pageant. And she was like, oh, honey...
Not with those teeth.
This has to be a prank.
Yeah.
Like, she really said that. And I was like, oh. And ever since I got that, like, I felt like it was a little taste, like a calling. I was like, I'm going to be an actress.
I'm going to make it big one day.
I'm going to make it big, and I'll show her.
You did.
Me and these fangs, I'll fucking show her.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember, like, from an early on age, them being like, being an actor, like, being in comedy, any of that, that's not real. It's not real. It's not a job you choose. You can't do that. You're going to be in business. You're going to be a saleswoman, Bex. My dad was always like, you're going to be my little saleswoman. You're just like me. And I remember going to college and saying, like, yeah, I'm going to study business so I can, like, be that saleswoman.
Yeah.
And then I, like, emphasized in entrepreneurship and then ended up adding another major in film, TV, and theater. Because I was like, I knew all along what I was going to do. I was like, I'm graduating. I'm moving to LA or New York immediately. And no matter what happens, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I almost moved to New York, but then I had a friend who had a couch in LA. So I was like, all right, I'll go there.
So wild.
But it was like, there's no plan B. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
This is full throttle. I'll make it work some way or another.
And you did.
It's always been like fun.
Yeah.
For many years, for like 8 years, I feel like I didn't really have a life.
Yeah.
But throughout that time, at some point, we rekindled, became friends. You moved to LA, and I was like, finally, I've got someone from Oregon in this goddamn hellscape of a town.
Yeah, it's funny. We knew each other, obviously, as children, and then lost touch for a decade and a half to 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, we had like one, whatever, connection when I was telling you I was wanted to attempt dabbling into stand-up, which I, by the way, never did. For good reason. I think we heard the notes. It's better
hey guys,
I didn't.
Is this thing on?
My backup plan was always going to be if I just like freeze on stage, I'm just going to try and like fart into the mic. That was truly like, I had a plan where I was like, that's going to save it and it'll get a laugh and it'll seem intentional.
It blows my mind that someone as like professional as you
would even consider.
That's the first idea you had to
save
because I also haven't heard you fire off a lot of good farts.
No, I don't. Well,
you have like architect farts. They're like
I don't.
My farts are like my farts are like the farts of a voice actor.
The fart sound you just did with
it's like they have different range, different cadence.
Right. Well, you practice.
Different volume.
Yeah.
I think I just have a lot of hemorrhoids, and every time it hits a different one, it makes a different sound.
Oh my God. Okay, so I was just dying. I just recently heard that if your cheeks don't touch, your farts don't make a sound.
That's not true. It's not true.
I'm pretty sure
it's true.
The air pushing through your butt cheeks.
Mm-mm. For you, baby. That's probably why yours sounds so muffled. Because it has to go through the Grand Canyon in order to finally make its way out.
I did hear that, though.
It probably starts like, and by the time it gets out, it's like,
So one viewer says, my boyfriend has been lying about his Instagram account. He told me he didn't have one, but he actually just blocked me. What should I do?
Dump him.
My boyfriend, so someone said, my boyfriend has been lying about my boyfriend, okay.
My boyfriend's been lying about his Instagram account. He told me he didn't have one, but he does, and he just blocked me.
Done.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty, I mean, part of me is like, it's social media, who gives a fuck?
Wait, my
but
boyfriend?
There are bigger secrets there.
My boyfriend? Right?
Yeah.
He's already your boyfriend.
Why are you saying it like that? Boyfriend?
Because it just clicked in my... Oh, honey, dump his... Dump his ass.
Your hair's doing a crazy little.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see it, but
I would say dump his ass because he's clearly hiding something. It's one thing to like.
Yeah,
I've blocked my story before from a significant other.
I want to know, is she how did she find out? And is he following just like strictly OnlyFans accounts, or is he following like mutual friends of theirs and she's the only one who didn't know he didn't have an Instagram? You know what I mean? Like, how deep does this go?
Well, both are unacceptable, I would say. But if
Yeah.
you're following OnlyFans accounts, like, I wouldn't really be that mad at that. I was actually scrolling Instagram last night and I follow this girl named Lexi Pantera who's like, she just posts 8-second videos of her twerking. And she had her ass painted like a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern thing. And she was like twerking and you can like, you know, and Erin was like, look at it. She goes, who's that? Who's that?
Oh, Erin.
And she goes, oh, do you like that?
Oh.
And I was like, no, I just like, she has good business tips every now and then. She's like the most followed girl on OnlyFans. I think it's interesting.
Oh my God.
But I feel like follow whoever you want. But the fact that he like blocked her and didn't tell her, and if they do have mutual friends and they know,
Yeah.
it's embarrassing, it's shady, it's fucked up.
It's betrayal.
Who knows what he's getting into? It's
Yeah.
betrayal at its core.
Yeah, I agree.
I wonder what's going on in those DMs. The blocking of it's weird. Like, if you don't
Even-
want to have a social media relationship, that's one thing. But I would find out if there's something that's being hidden and what in particular that is.
But it's like, even if there's nothing damning about it and it's just innocent, it's just weird. It's just weird to block your girlfriend from your Instagram.
Extremely sus.
Yeah.
Unless you're polling your audience, your followers, on a surprise for your girlfriend.
Right. Which is so cute. And that's probably the story
In
he
which
should have
case,
spun.
Don't dump him.
Definitely have this person follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more deets.
Definitely. Yeah. We need more details. You know who you are.
All right, but then last one is, I really admire your confidence. Any advice for those of us without much confidence asking for a friend?
I really
Take it
admire.
away.
They said, I really admire your confidence. Any advice for those of us who don't have much confidence?
Yes.
Asking for a friend.
So self-conscious.
unconfident. You can't even say it's for you.
Yeah.
I really admire your confidence. How do you get the confidence? Although I am
It's not
asking
for me.
it's
I'm totally confident. It's not me. Yeah. Oh my God. Well,
Cut the
don't
shit.
do that.
cut the shit.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. Just ask the question.
I feel like one thing that always sets me straight is being reminded that we're just a little speck in the middle of a nothingness galaxy. And then it's like, oh yeah, nothing fucking matters.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Even like tripping, fall. I remember tripping one day and like spilling my lunch tray and being like so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Just like, oh no, everyone else saw that.
I think you just reminded me, like, I've fallen a lot. I'm very clumsy. And it makes me so much more uncomfortable and embarrassed when people are like, are you okay? And I think it is like finding the humor in stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you have, like, at least for me, that's where it's like, it's easier to like let it brush off if you can laugh about it.
Yeah.
And then you're less tortured by what might feel embarrassing. It's just like, it's funny. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, like, I know this question was directed to you, but I feel like I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
um,
You're really good at being a person. I feel like sometimes I forget
yeah.
how to do that.
I think it's just like approaching the world with empathy. Like, everyone is feeling some version of the same thing that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So
No matter what you might think or how much, if
Yeah.
you're comparing yourself to other people and thinking like, oh, they don't feel like I am. I feel confident all the time.
I was gonna
Then
say,
it's
like,
then you kind of, you approach the world with empathy. You realize like, oh God, we're all existing in the hell that is this life together.
mm-hmm.
We're all facing difficult things.
Yeah.
And once you realize you're not alone and you start to realize we're truly all in this together,
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Well, and you're not, like, to this person who asked the question, like, you are very confident, but like I know that you're not always that way, and you know you're not always that way, and anyone who says like or comes off like they're only ever feeling confident is lying.
Yeah.
Like you got your ups and downs, and
Always.
maybe it's easier to like brush off, like, you know, I can like go to the middle of a dance floor and do the worm and be unbothered by it, but the idea of like getting up on stage and telling jokes is terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a spectrum. Everything's a spectrum.
Yeah, it is. I feel like especially too as a woman, there's like certain times
Here we go.
Mariam, shut the fuck up. There are times throughout every month. I honestly used to, I used to get really depressed pre-period.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And now it kind of presents as like insecurity. Sometimes.
I just eat chocolate.
And that helps. That definitely fucking helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, it always changes. Some days you wake up and you're like, God, I feel fucking great. And other days you wake up and you're like, oh, God, I can't even answer my own phone. I'm so scared and unconfident.
The king and peasant mindset. Like sometimes you wake up and you're like, I'm the best. I deserve this.
Yeah.
I need to get paid more, and I'm going to do this, and I'm really great at what I do. And then other days you wake up and you're like, why am I even trusted
I
to
deserve
take
nothing.
this over? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you got to take stock of your shit yourself, your skills, what you do, and then be like, oh yeah, well, do I believe in myself? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Am I unwell? Maybe. But maybe everyone else is too. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
I've even like in my darker, like most self-conscious times or like unconfident times, is unconfident a word? Or do we keep saying that and it's not actually a word?
It's got to be a word.
Oh, well, if I'm ever lacking confidence, I've like literally done affirmation. Like I've had to talk to myself and be like, you're good at this. You can do this. Don't let them tell you.
You had to do that for me in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's true.
I, like right after I'd broken my finger and I was like,
yeah,
I'm too scared to perform. Like I can hardly put my wig on with my hand like this. I had to be like, you're funny. You're smart. I had to do that a lot actually when I was like on Wild and Out. But way back in the day, I would like there was like this little room I would go in and just like panic. I'm pretty sure it was like the green room for the celebrities that would come on the show.
It was your panic room.
I would just go like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, like again and again and again and again. And then you're like, whew. Then take 10 deep breaths with eyes closed. And then you just walk out there like you fucking know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, folks, to wrap it up, I am Becky Robinson.
And I'm Mariam Mollaghaffari.
Still am.
Always
will be.
Always will be.
I'm at Becky Robinson 4 on Instagram. Mariam's at Mollaghaffari. What's your handle?
Mariam Grace.
We got a bunch of merch that just dropped on entitledhousewife.com, so go check it out. We love you. Send in more questions, and we'll see you next time. Anything else, Mariam?
No, I'm Mariam.